Somewhere in the mortgage documents, he indicated that I was his wife as opposed to his daughter. But the deed, in fact, says I am his daughter. My father has since passed, and the house has since been sold. Period. Next. There's a house in Virginia that I purchased that I was a co-signer with for my niece. My niece's children, and I wanted to have her home. And so I co-signed the home. When I signed the power of attorney, I did it electronically. I wanted my niece to basically sign for me at the closing.
Welcome back, Warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. Warriors, Letitia James, New York Attorney General, just got caught in a massive cover-up. You are not going to want to miss this. You're not going to believe this. This woman literally lied in an active, and I'm going to say allegedly, lied in an active DOJ investigation. Before we get into this, don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications, watch the video to the end. Let's get into it. We're going by way of Sam E. Antar, and you know he is the former Crazy Eddie CFO turned forensic accountant from Wall Street, criminal to fraud investigator. Okay, he's investigating her, and this was just recently breaking. New York Attorney General Letitia James. Letitia James just committed fresh federal crimes on a podcast with 869,000 subscribers. I'm going to say allegedly for everything in this video. Full devastating analysis with all the documents here. Okay, so, oh gosh. Now, you know what? Big Tish, you are really doing too much. This is what they mean in the Bible. Pride, a haughty spirit comes before a great fall. That's the spirit of pride. Yes, pride comes before an astronomical fall in the form of Big Tish, Letitia James. All right, while under DOJ investigation for mortgage fraud, Letitia James lied about her own legal documents that I have in hand that contradict every word she said. She claimed she signed for power of attorney electronically. The actual document shows her hand, and we're going to watch this. I'm going to show you this document. She literally said that she signed the power of attorney electronically, and the actual document shows her handwritten signature, notarized in person, witnessed by 2 employees from her own attorney general's office. She said the false declaration was at the bottom of the document, is prominently displayed in the middle of page 1, I hereby declare that I intend to occupy this property as my principal residence. She completely omitted her 20-plus year pattern of mortgage fraud on her Brooklyn property, the systemic misrepresentations that enabled her to steal federal HEMP benefits she wasn't entitled to receive. This isn't damage control. This is obstruction of justice happening in real time, broadcast to millions. The woman who prosecuted Trump for property misrepresentations I'm going to say allegedly, lied about her own property documents while federal prosecutors watch. We need to understand how big this is. She, during an active DOJ investigation, allegedly lied about these mortgage documents. Now, we just can't forget about the 20-plus year pattern that this woman has. Her own emails prove she knew the declaration was false when she signed it. She knew that. Big Tish, what are you doing? The FBI should be at her door by morning. This is Sam E. Antar, fraud investigator. He says the FBI should be at her door by morning. We'll see about that if that actually happens. The cover-up is always worse than the crime. James just proved it in spectacular fashion. And here it is right here. There's a little cartoon, how the Attorney General's latest interview became fresh evidence for federal prosecutors. I signed it electronically. And there she is. They say the cover-up is always worse than the crime. Letitia James, Big Tish, just proved that axiom in spectacular fashion. Fraud case. signature, not electronically, and there's a bucket of cover up. She is going to walk away with poop on her face. And Sam E. Antar is literally saying the FBI should be at her door by morning.
Now Trump's going after you. DOJ has opened a criminal investigation over alleged mortgage fraud. You call the allegations baseless.
Yes.
What is the status of that investigation and your plan to fight it?
I don't know. That's a question for DOJ. They just announced it, and that was it. So I've not heard anything as of yet. But we've responded to the baseless attack, and my attorney has prepared a 2-page, 3-page letter responding to each and every allegation, which is baseless. And let's go through that, okay? Mm-hmm. So the first allegation is that the house in Queens that my father purchased almost 30 years ago, somewhere in the mortgage documents, he indicated that I was his wife as opposed to his daughter. But the deed, in fact, says I am his daughter. My father has since passed, and the house has since been sold. Period. Next. There's a house in Virginia that I purchased that I was a co-signer with for my niece. My niece's children, and I wanted to have her home. Mm-hmm. And so I co-signed the home. When I signed the power of attorney, I did it electronically. I wanted my niece to basically sign for me at the closing. At the bottom of the power of attorney, it indicated that I was a resident of Virginia. Prior to that, I had indicated to the mortgage broker in caps, all caps, I am not a resident of Virginia.
You're Tish from Brooklyn.
I'm Tish from Brooklyn, period. And in the mortgage documents, it indicates whether or not you plan on being a resident of Virginia, and I marked no, no, no. But of course, those were not publicly available. The only public document that's available is the power of attorney, which was not a basis for the mortgage.
She said she put in there all caps, I am not a resident. And she talks about the document that somehow her dad put that she is his wife, when in fact, she is his daughter, because I showed you this a couple of months ago. It's like, look, it says it right here. I showed you guys the certificate of occupancy of a 5-unit property that she says was a 4-unit. This woman allegedly has a pattern of fraud. It looks intentional. And I'm going to show you the document that she said was signed electronically. She just admitted it right here. This woman, pride comes before the fall. Big Tish, Letitia James, caught in a massive fraud cover-up. I'm going to show you this right now. All righty. White collar fraud. This is coming by way. It says line number 1, the electronic signature fantasy. James claimed, when I signed the power of attorney, I did it electronically. You heard her say that. The actual document proves this is a complete fabrication. Page 3 shows handwritten, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. It says, here it is right here. In witness whereof, thee said Letitia A. James has affixed her signature and seal on this 17th day of August, 2023. Letitia A. James. Is that an electronic signature to you? It looks, it's very handwritten. State of New York, City of New York. To wit, notarized in person by Julius Crockwell, Notary Public, State of New York. Date August 17th, 2023. 2 in-person witnesses who signed under penalty of perjury. It states, on the date last above written, declared to us, the undersigned, that the foregoing instrument was her specific power of attorney, and requested us to act as a witness to it, that to the best of our knowledge, Letitia A. James was 18 years of age or over, of sound mind, and under no constraint or under influence. Letitia A. James therefore signed this specific power of attorney in our presence, all of us being present at the same time. We now, at her request, in her presence and in the presence of each other, subscribe our names as witnesses. There's a Sharona and Sharona Parchment, and I can't make out the other name. There are 2 witnesses. This wasn't electronic, ladies and gentlemen. It was an in-person signing ceremony with a notary and two witnesses from our own office. James is lying, and I'll just put allegedly on that, about the basic facts of how she committed the mortgage fraud documented in public records. That, ladies and gentlemen, is this woman right here, Letitia James. Now we got some more lies to uncover. The bottom of the page, mischaracterization. James claimed at the bottom of the power of attorney, it indicated that I was a resident of Virginia. The actual document proves this mischaracterizes what the document actually says. The power of attorney contains this prominent declaration in the middle of page 1. It says, I hereby declare that I intend to occupy this property as my principal residence. This isn't just about being a resident of Virginia. It's a crystal clear sworn statement about occupancy intent, exactly what federal mortgage fraud law prohibits lying about. And it's not buried at the bottom. It's prominently featured above her signature. This is crazy. I'm going to go down this list of lies. James is mischaracterizing her own document to minimize the significance of the false sworn document that triggered federal investigation. Lie number 3, the government witnesses she can't explain. What James conveniently forgot to mention, the document reveals her false declaration was witnessed by 2 employees from the New York Attorney General's office, Jennifer Levy and Sharona Parchment. Jennifer Levy and Sharona Parchment, both witnesses, signed under penalty of perjury that they were present when James made her false declaration. Translation: New York's top prosecutors watched their boss commit federal mortgage fraud and put their signatures on it. Wow, these people are really just so smart, aren't they? Line number 4, not a basis. Legal nonsense. James claimed the power of attorney was not a basis for the mortgage. Federal law reality is irrelevant whether the false statement was the basis for anything. The law criminalizes any false statement capable of influencing a financial institution. A sworn power of attorney declaring intent to occupy as principal residence is absolutely capable of influencing loan compliance audits, quality control reviews, investor requirements, future enforcement actions. Importantly, the power of attorney was filed with the mortgage as part of the official loan package, making it directly part of the federal financial transaction. For New York's chief law enforcement officer to misstate basic federal criminal law is either stunning incompetence or deliberate deception. And the Brooklyn property she won't discuss. What James completely omitted and mentioned of a 20+ year pattern of mortgage fraud involving her, her property on Lafayette Avenue. And in the interview, she talks about the Queen's house from 30 years ago with her father, which I just showed you. This represents a critical lie of omission. Public records document that for over 20 years, James has consistently misrepresented her Brooklyn property as a 4-unit, and we know that it's really a 5-unit. Okay. And those are her pattern. Those are the lies, looks like. And she is on a podcast with 870,000 plus subscribers, out for the world to see. Okay. Out for the world to see her being less than truthful. This woman really is a mess. All right, she's trying to cover up what she's doing. She really is caught. She's really caught right now. And literally these falsehoods, I'm going to say it nicely, again, allegedly, during an active DOJ investigation. You all tell me what you think about that. Tell me what you think about it in the comments below, because Letitia James, you are cooked. A Tish served cold, caught in a massive fraud cover-up. And you're out here talking on podcasts with a lot of subscribers, 870,000 plus, saying things that, according to the records, literally, we have your signatures. We have the information. We have the receipts. what you're saying is not true. It is anything but baseless. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to smash like, comment, share, subscribe, hit all notifications. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on, warriors.